Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm your host, Mike Smith, and joining us today from the Pickaway County Library, we have the Library Director, Drew Wichterman, and also the Assistant Public Service Manager, Andrea Green. Our interview today is brought to you by Kingston National Bank. Back with the Pickaway County Library after this.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier. Transactions are getting safer. And you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
Welcome back for our special edition. And Drew has been here before, but Andrea, this is a first-time visit with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Drew, first of all, let's kind of introduce what we're going to be covering today. A lot of it is the new programs. There are programs that are coming up for the spring and summer, I imagine.
Yes, absolutely. We have a full summer reading program that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Inspiration Station. Mm-hmm. So that's coming along nicely, and then we're also going to cover some other things that we've got going on with the library, specifically grants and some other programs.
Very good. I imagine Andrew's doing the heavy lifting on the programming.
I do a lot with adult programming at the library, and then working with our youth services too that plans the youth programs, and all kind of comes together for the summer reading program.
Now, bookworm, I think libraries all over the country do that. Is that something you do in Pickaway County or not?
So it's specific to Chillicothe Ross. They call their program Bookworm, but most libraries have a version of what is like a summer reading program.
Right.
And it's really just encouraging kids, families, adults, everybody to read over the summer.
Something that we, when we've talked to other libraries that have come in on this program, and I've heard this comment, I wanted you guys to respond to it as we've asked the other libraries to do as well. With the onset of the internet and the research that you can get, I've had people say, why do we need libraries? Well, the programs that you're talking about, you can't get that all on the internet.
No, I mean, we're bringing people to the library, and we're also bringing our programs throughout Pickaway County. So we know that there's a lot of people who don't live close to a library location. So we're going out into a lot of our parks and different community centers so that we can get the library programs out to more people. And everything is free to people who come to these programs. So, and they're educational, they're hands-on, they're kids being able to touch and hold animals and learn about the animals in their backyard, and learn about how to use the library, things like that. And they're actually getting to interact with the presenters, with each other in a way that they can't do on the internet.
And I also wanted to add, when you look at things like the digital divide, that's a term that we're quite familiar with, and it's becoming more popular. When you have rural communities that don't have access to the internet, libraries are the key for those communities to bring those resources to them. And, even if it is free internet access, that's where libraries are playing that role, as the library as the internet continues to grow.
Now you have, I'm assuming this is a calendar. Is this for summer events? You can hold that up there so we can see.
So we put together a quarterly community events guide, and this one is specifically for summer. So it has all of our summer reading program events and programs, and also it goes into August, which is beyond when our summer reading program ends. But it's not just library programs either. It's a collected calendar of all events that we know of or that people tell us about in Pickaway County that we can share as kind of a combined calendar. So people can plan to do lots of different things, not just at the library.
Now, I'm assuming you pick these up at the library, but are there other places they can get them as well? Yeah,
we try to take them out to as many places as possible, like city and township offices, like the Chamber of Commerce, the Pickaway County Visitors Bureau. I'm trying to think. I know that we deliver them to lots of different places. Right. The Parks District, we'll put them out. As many places as we can find.
So if you see one, unless it's in somebody else's hand, take it.
Yes, please.
Yes, we have lots of them available.
So technically we're not in summer until June, but Memorial Day is the unofficial kickoff of summer. So a lot of these summer activities are already starting or will start soon?
They're starting soon. It's a little quiet at the library in May sometimes because we are gearing up towards our really intensive programming schedule for summer. So the program for summer reading actually kicks off on June 1st. And then we're going to have a kickoff party at the library on June 3rd. So people can register for summer reading now, but like one of the big parts of the program is reading goals and getting either 10, 15, or 25 hours based on your age. And that logging will start on June 1st, the day the program kicks off.
Drew, do you have any idea what percentage, and it doesn't have to be exact, of the people that come into the library on a regular basis are kids as opposed to all adults?
So I would say it's, a lot of kids are encouraged, obviously, by the summer reading program. But the benefit there is we get the families. So you do get a lot of adults, whether it's parents or grandparents, that are trying to read with the kids and encourage them to participate too. And that's one thing that we kind of restructured with our program this year is, we understand that 10 hours to a child is very different than 25 hours to an adult. So we were trying to base it on, how many books, we would expect that maybe adults or teens would read versus how many kids would read. So I can't give you an exact number, but I'd say it's pretty even. If you get the kids coming in, you got the adults coming in. If you got the adults coming in, you got the kids coming in.
I've been into the library. Actually, it was before Drew came on board, and it's wide open. It's not cut up into a lot of small rooms. It's wide open space, a room to kind of roam around and look at the different selections that you have there, and it's just kind of a comfortable atmosphere is what I got from being inside there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we do encourage people to come in. Our meeting rooms are used all the time. We have 2 large meeting rooms, one are medium size and then 2 smaller conference rooms. And, we actually had to adjust our meeting room policy to allow more people to use it more often because it is popular. And so we're trying to give the opportunity for the community to use them as much as needed. So we're very fortunate to have the space, and we're glad that the community is using it.
Of course, people that maybe haven't been to Circleville in a long time, they think of Memorial Hall as the library. That's not been there for a long time.
Yeah, it's been over 20 years now. Yeah.
So when we look at the programs that are coming up, and Andrea's talked about a number of those things, what would be something that you would want any prospective participant, young or old, to know that maybe looking at a brochure they can't get the feel of?
I think that one of the really important things about summer reading is that we try to put everybody on an even playing field. So, we talk about recording the number of minutes that you've read. And, we understand that different people read at different paces, no matter what age they are. We understand that the littlest ones, like our program goes to birth. So, babies can participate, but we know that they're not reading. They're being read to. And so by counting it by minutes rather than number of books, it, kind of accommodates for different reading speeds. And also it gives everyone a chance to read what they really want to read. They don't feel like they have to go in and, grab the smallest, easiest books to read, even if they're not interested in them. They can pick the ones that they really want to read. And no matter how long it takes them to read one book, if they're getting their number of hours or minutes in, they're still able to, they're eligible to win those prizes. And so, that's one thing that I think is really great about how we run summer reading. And then also just the programs, the educational programs that people can come in and, like I said, interact with presenters, and just get that hands-on learning. And a lot of what summer reading is kind of keeping kids a little more even throughout the summer when they're not in school, so that maybe they don't slide as far behind by the time they're going back in the fall. And so, just kind of staying engaged like throughout the program and coming and logging their minutes. And I think that's really what the important part is.
Our daughter, who's in her 30s now, loves to read, but we read to her every day when she was real little. So when I hear, the studies that show start, your kids reading to them early, there is, at least in our case, we found that is absolutely true.
And it's also just, for the little ones looking at books.
Yes.
If they're sitting and flipping pages and looking at pictures, they're learning how a book works. And that's all part of early literacy.
I had to chuckle because there was one book about insects, and there was a picture of a spider, and our daughter really thought that spider was alive. And to this day, she's gotten brave enough that she can go out and deal with them. But for a long time, it was like, that was hilarious every time when we turned that page. You mentioned earlier, Drew, the Inspiration Station. We did a story on that when they came up with this idea. It's not, you're not putting that together, but there is a connection with the library.
Yeah, so it is part of our building. The Pickaway County Community Foundations are the ones that are really spearheading the program, and we're working with them to do everything we can to support the museum, and it's coming along very well. They're currently in the middle of construction. They've done most of the demolition, and they're now moving on to electrical and soon to be plumbing. So one of the things that we're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks is there's going to be a doorway between the two parts of the building. So that's going to just take a couple of days. They're going to put in a door frame, and then we'll have a connecting point between the two areas. So that'll be nice. But yeah, everything's on schedule. They're looking at later in the fall for things to be wrapped up with construction, and then they'll be doing some more work with all the exhibits that they'll be putting in for the next roughly 6 months after that.
Right. I know. I thought originally we were talking about 2025 opening sometime.
Yeah. So they're looking at roughly spring of 2025.
This sounds like a win-win for both the library and the Inspiration Station.
It absolutely is. We're very much looking forward to partnering with them. We are going to have, we're hoping to have specific days where maybe there's a reduced cost or free entry or programming shared. We haven't worked out all the details of what we're going to do, but the hope is that we are going to partner on things. And, if the library's doing something, we'll share with them. If they're doing something, they'll share with us. So very much looking forward to that.
Of course, a lot of what we were talking about, the main library in Circleville on North Court Street, but what about the branch library?
They're still just as busy. We just actually hired a new person to do children's programming. So we took one of our previous positions that was strictly what would have been just like a clerk position, and we made it into a youth services position. So we're hoping to do some more programming with the schools, hoping to do more story times, more youth-focused programs. And right now is the perfect time to kind of jump right into summer reading. Previously, we were using a lot of our main library staff to support some of those efforts, and we're seeing a need as that area continues to grow. We're looking in changing positions to help service that area with their needs.
So for those that may be new to our community, the branch locations are where?
So the main library is in Circleville, and then our branch is in Asheville, and then we have a bookmobile that does the rest of the community, going to neighborhoods and schools and other community stops.
Yeah. Bookmobile, a lot of communities have that. Rural areas, that seems to be big too. A lot of folks just can't get into town.
Absolutely essential. When we look at where we're located, we understand that, there are smaller communities that do need our services, especially on the western part of the county, and that's how we reach them.
Andrea, anything else you want to touch on about programs coming up this summer before we close out?
Really, it's just going to be I've been saying it's going to be kind of a zoo at the library and with our programming this summer. Partly because we have a lot of animal programs that are going to be great opportunities for everybody, but there's something going on every week. We have some writing programs for adults coming up. The Thurber House in Columbus is sending presenters down to do some of those programs, so we're really excited about that. And one of them's specific to graphic novels, and then one of them's just kind of a general creativity, inspiration, trying to get those thoughts going, no matter what art form you're pursuing. So we're really excited about that. And there's just going to be something for everybody throughout the summer. And it's reading and it's learning and it's all kind of combined together. And we're really excited.
Drew, we'll let you close.
Sure. So I've got two grants that I want to talk about that we're quite proud that we got over the past couple months. The first is through the American Library Association, and that one is specific with accessibility. So we partnered with our local Board of Developmental Disabilities, and we're going to be getting an adult changing table, which will be the first one in a public area in Pickaway County. And then the second grant is for, it's called a Guiding Ohio Online. And that's a program that will allow us to have a technology trainer in the library. And going back to my comments about digital divide, we're seeing more and more needs for technology training. So we partnered with the Fairfield County Library, and we're going to share a technology trainer. That'll be a full-time position, and we're going to do all kinds of different training. So if it's one-on-one classes, looking at our databases. So we have a program called LinkedIn Learning, and that helps people learn different skills, technology-based. So you can go in there and you can do, different courses, and you can learn how to do all kinds of things. So we're very much looking forward to that, and that'll be starting in July.
Very good. Some exciting things happening at the Pickaway County Library. Stop in and see for yourself what's happening there. Our guest today, Drew Wichterman, again, the director of the Pickaway County Library, and Assistant Public Service Manager Andrea Green. Our special edition brought to you today by Kingston National Bank. I'm Mike Smith.